Okay, welcome back. We're going to talk a little bit about the share structure of your company now, and it's well worth giving this some thought. If you're starting a lifestyle business, then you're probably just going to issue some shares to yourself and your business partner, and it'll probably stay like that for the rest of the company's history. But if you're looking to grow your business and scale up and perhaps take on investors and encourage new shareholders to join, then you've got to think a little bit more about how that's going to be structured. First thing to remember is that the shares are stakes in your company. So they each have value and they make up the whole of the company's value in total. And what you need to do is think about how that's going to change over time. So initially, when you issue shares, they'll have a share price, and then the aim really is that that share price goes up to reflect the changing value of the company and the increasing value of the company. To the extent that eventually, when you come to sell your shares, perhaps at an exit, that means that you've made a capital gain. Along the route towards an exit, of course, if you're profitable, then you've got the opportunity to pay dividends through the shares as well. Now, not all shares are equal. So what you'll hear, of course, are things like ordinary shares and preference shares. And sophisticated investors will almost certainly ask for preference shares. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come on to looking at how investors take stakes in the company in future chapters. So each successive round of investment leads to a new share issue at hopefully a higher price than the previous one. And as you bring on new investors and therefore new shareholders, what you really need to do is keep track of how that's going and what the various proportion ownership of the company is. And so in my book, I show you this in terms of the capitalization table, and I give examples of how, as you go through different rounds of investment, the number of shares that are issued increases, of course, and also the percentage ownership of the different shareholders changes. And what you can do with a capitalization table like this is play around with the numbers and start to understand what impact different levels of investment are going to have on, for example, voting rights, and also where potential shareholders could get together to work towards a particular decision, and how that might affect how, for example, the founders have control over the company versus the different investment partners. So it's fairly complicated, and it's crucial as you take on investment and you change the share structure of your company that you do this with a view to what that means to the future, particularly as really you're aiming for that lucrative exit at the end of it all.